Hello, everybody. Hopefully, you can hear me. It's really breezy here. It's the first time I've been outside in a long time to do one of my reviews. I mean, I've been outside of my house, clearly, for other things, but not to do one of my reviews. And it's nice to be out, but it turned out to be kind of cloudy, uh, kind of windy. It's not supposed to rain, but I'm under a big tree up against my kind of ramshackle shed back there. It needs a lot of work, and it needs another few coats of paint. It's not done yet. But this isn't shed reviews. This is spirits reviews. Don't mind that old grungy chair too. We're not even keeping that. That's old furniture that's just been out and back here forever. Um, so what do I got? What do I got? And again, like I said, hopefully you can hear me. Today I have Wheat Penny bourbon whiskey finished with black cherry and toasted oak wood, which is interesting. A nice little combination. It is 94 proof, so it should be pretty solid. It's called an extra special release World's Fair Edition, 1958. 1958 was the last year that the wheat penny was minted. It says on the back of the little story. It was the year the World's Fair featured an electronic computer that demonstrated a knowledge of history, and it was the year NASA was created and the microchip was invented. And it even tells you what the mash bill on the back of this is, which is interesting. This features a mash bill of 51% corn, 45% wheat, 4% malted barley. So it's a corn bourbon, which I like because I tend to like corn bourbons. Finished with black cherry and toasted oak wood. And it's been finished and bottled by Cleveland Whiskey in Cleveland, Ohio. And they make the Cleveland Underground and various other things that I've enjoyed. So I'm looking forward to it. So let's pop that cork. Ooh, nice pork. Nice pork. Nice cork. I don't know what I'm talking about there. It looks like it's a synthetic cork. It's hard to say. It doesn't have a lot of the definition that an organic cork would have. Not that that particularly matters to me, but if it matters to you, there you go. Get my glass here. For a satisfying amount there. Put that down. Hopefully don't spill it all over myself. There's a table nearby here, but it was more in the wind, and I didn't want to risk not being heard as much. This is about as good as I'm going to get, so. But it's a nice color, nice ruby kind of ruby brown red color. Very russet, I suppose you could say. Smells bright. Smells nice and bright like a rye should. Good viscosity. Might be a bit syrupy. Might be a bit sweet. I guess we're going to find out. So here we go. The Wheat Penny. Mm. Interesting. There's a bloom of heat that picks up. I'm trying to place the taste. It's not, when I think of a good corn mash, heavy corn mash bill, I usually think of Cedar Ridge first because that's their primary grain that they use, especially for the Slipknot branded products. This does not have quite that same flavor. It's a little bit in there. It is very bright. Is a bit on the cheerful side. Not quite as clean as an Irish whiskey or a Speyside Scotch. There's some fruit taste in there that I can't really place. It could be the black cherry, but I'm not getting a lot of actual cherry flavor. And just because you use cherry wood in something does not mean necessarily they're going to get a cherry flavor. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But there is a tartness in there. There is a bit of tartness that could be the cherry. Maybe. A lot of pollens and stuff in the air too, so don't mind me. We're gonna try this again and see what we get. There is definitely some kind of a fruit feel to that. It is a very strong taste. It's I'm having some trouble giving it a good description because it tastes a little bit on the rye side, even though it doesn't say much about having rye in the mash bill. It doesn't say it has any rye in the mash bill. That's probably the corn influence, or it could be the wheat influence. It could be the wheated, because I don't always have a lot of wheated bourbons either. I feel like there's some different things in there trying to kind of shine through. And so I'm getting more of just a generic kind of fruit taste. Not like, fly off the screen. Not like, I don't know, not like generic, just, oh, it's a berry taste, or it's this or that. It's difficult to pin down. It's decent, though. I like it. Now, this was $39.99, if I remember correctly. It was $40. So $40, which is still within the realm of comfort. I generally like to stay within the 30-ish range for decent stuff, and if I'm trying to save some money, generally in the 20s and up. But and then if I'm really looking to spend for something really, really good, upwards into the 50s and 60s. But I'd say this is worth the price point for $40. It's got a good warming effect. I feel pretty comfortable out here, despite the breeze blowing and everything like that. So it's not cooling me off too much. This is helping keep me a little on the warmer side. And while there is definitely, you can tell the proof is getting up there. It's the 94 proof. It's not overwhelming. I'm not getting too much of a alcohol feel to it. I'm not getting like, it's not overwhelming with the alcohol taste. You can tell that it's in there, and you can taste that it's in there. But where sometimes you get something where the alcohol taste is really overwhelming, and it really kind of takes over and it devalues the flavor a little bit, this isn't doing that. I think this is on par. But again, it's difficult to pin down what the flavor notes are. I'm just getting this just general fruit sensation. I'm not getting the sort of corn taste that I get from something like Cedar Ridge or other corn forward mash bills, which is interesting. And that could be the influence of the barrels. They may have dulled that a little bit to try to bring out some of that fruit essence. But I feel like it could have gone a little further, because their Cleveland Underground is in black cherry casks, I believe, but it's a different mash bill, and you get more of the cherry kind of taste to it. This, I think there's too many flavors kind of trying to compete to be on top. It doesn't bother me too much. Like sometimes you get things that are, there's too many flavor notes, and it's trying to be too many things at once. You get that a lot with some of the beers that I've had. There's too many flavors in there. And sometimes with your whiskeys, you get something that's kind of like, it's trying to do this, but it also has this, and it's trying to do that, and there's just too much going on. This, I just think, mosquito in my ear. I think this is just trying to be too much of two different things. It's trying to give you the extra flavors from the barrels it's been finished in, while also trying to impress with that high corn mash bill. So I don't know. It's not bad though. I like it, and I think it's fair for the price. I think $39.99 is fair for this here in Ohio. Anyway, your prices and your availability may vary, of course. So once again, so I can close up here and get out of these bugs. It's mosquito season. Wheat Penny, 1958. Bourbon whiskey finished with black cherry and toasted oak wood, and finished and bottled by Cleveland Whiskey in Cleveland, Ohio. So it's local stuff. I always got to give props to the local guys here in Ohio, because since I live in Ohio, you know, I give my props to the innovators and the people helping to keep our local spirits. I don't want to say scene because that's a musical term, but our local spirits landscape, some definition and some choices and things like that. So you don't just have everything coming up from down south. So yeah, good stuff. I like it. And until next time, of course, cheers.